Good morning, everyone. I'm just continuing on the video because I ran out of storage on my phone, so I just got kicked off video, and then I had to deal with that. So I bought more storage. I transferred stuff on my laptop, deleted stuff from my phone, and had to go through all that stuff. So anyway, I was talking about Carl Jung and possibly being part of this cabal. I was kidding about that. What I was getting at with that is like possibly people are just so focused on being right or proving others wrong that they just miss things that could be possibly like fairly obvious flaws that you could consider again just to make like your theories or your suggestions or what you're saying like either again like reinforced because proven right or proven wrong. And we should all be open to being wrong because again if we're wrong then like I would want to be right. I would want to know. And yeah. I was also listening to a YouTube video with Richard Dawkins and Dr. Jordan Peterson. I didn't finish it yet. It was a brilliant piece though, but I get frustrated watching these because Richard Dawkins, like he insults people a lot, and that's how I see that people when they debate or discuss, like that's when they want to kind of like distract people from being able to collect their thoughts properly and be in that wise mind where you have like rational brain versus emotional brain, and then you have the logic and the emotional, and then you have wise mind, which is where people should want to be, which again gives balance and able to formulate proper theories and reflect on things in a proper way, and then be able to respond and not be distracted by these just rude things, right? And this is why when we get women that are in positions of authority or leadership where there's strength needed either physically or verbally, it tends to be like women that are more like on the aggressiveness scale, so like the more masculine features or attributes scale, in order to be able to I guess survive, so to speak, or have success in those fields, because men are often louder. They're like they cut people off. They're more insulting sometimes. Again, I'm overgeneralizing, and again, yes, women do too as well. But if we could all just like not insult people, because again, like there was just several times where I just was just like, whoa, like that was completely so rude, and again, like just like dismissing like hidden symbology in so many different things, like the double helix and the snakes, and how that ties into healing on an individual level, but also like on a spiritual soul level and emotional level. And I think that if Richard Dawkins were to look at that, then instead of looking like towards the they're all looking down essentially, or but they're not really looking up, right? So for my example of that, they were talking a bit about microorganisms and animals and humans and things like that, and I hope that I can like clearly articulate this, but this is again like where I struggle with these processes. But people like that, and even Yuri, I don't know what his name is, but the guy that wrote Homo Deus and Sapiens, like again they just talk about us on such a lower level, again just like lower level emotions, using lower level emotions, and they don't look at the bigger picture and how they actually all relate, right? And so yes, like look at microorganisms, let's do that. Like, and let's look at humans or any living species, or any species, and I have billions of microorganisms in my body, right? And they all are different species, so to speak, different species in my body of of whatever, cells and microorganisms and who knows, viruses, like whatever. And they all reproduce in certain ways or die off and shed. And again, there's also a hidden symbology too with snakes shedding and during certain seasons, and humans, when we tend to be more irritated and inflamed, it's during certain seasons too. So again, there's ties to that, and also to our genetic coding and our DNA, and how the models that we're given is very similar to that thing. So yeah, so maybe oh yeah, and so like even in my body, right, like on my skin, on my body, and then internally as well, and and yeah, but that's all part of me, right? All of these things are also like part of bigger things, just like all of these like cells and microorganisms or whatever. They're all like, they create things like my liver, my heart, my lungs, my brain, my skin, my hair, my eyes, my like all of these things. And and then so yeah, so even those things are part of a bigger thing, which are part of a bigger thing, which are part of a bigger thing. And just because I'm not able to see it visually, like there are now like there's more technology out there that allows me to see things again, at least on a level that I wouldn't be able to see before. And then vice versa too, for things that are like further away, I'm just able to see them just due to, you know, technological advances. And so, and it also depends on the environment as well too, right? Like, is an ant who is so small, like, does it have the ability to see? Yes, I would say yes, because I've played with ants and I could see that they move or get, you know, shaken up, like when like I put my finger off their path or whatever. I actually give them some like food too, because again, it's weird stuff. But even whales, right? They have their own natural environment, and often like so far removed from humans, just because we're not able to make it there again or yet. And so completely different life experiences, right? And then so we are likely, because again, like as soon as you look beyond the world, like you see that it's part of a bigger system, design. And then so just because I'm not able to see it, I should be aware that it exists beyond me, and there's probably some kind of a being, that would have to be some kind of a being that's bigger than me, that's taking me and everyone else collectively, and possibly other, you know, beings of sorts from like even other areas outside of this firmament, in order to make bigger beings, right? Because like we're like looking so down, but again, like when you look down, that actually makes you understand like the bigger picture too. So when people get too focused, and it also takes a long time, like a lot of years, and in order to perfect something and properly understand it, so that you can show it and demonstrate it and teach it to others, right? So like I get that sometimes you just don't have time. But or you get again stopped from doing things that could possibly help people, just because other people won't benefit from it, and they see that as a threat, even though it's not a threat. Because again, like when you see things as a threat, it means that you are the one that is in a survival mode, right? And then look at your surroundings. Like look at my surroundings. Like I shouldn't be in a fight or flight mode right now, because there's nothing in my environment. There's no stimulus. There's nothing in my environment right now that should that is a threat to me. Anyway, and I'm very thankful for that too. And because I've been to war, because I've traveled many places, and I've had like adverse events happen, even, you know, in my own life in Canada, like I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, so like the whole Richard Dawkins thing, whatever he wants to call it, God, you know, whatever name people call it, depending on their language or symbols that they use or how they express things, there's a creator that is beyond us, that designed everything here, because of sacred geometry too. Like when you look at snowflakes and you look at leaves and you actually look at us and you look at everything else, like it's it's a very complicated engineering design that is not something that we should or are able to replicate. Anyway, because it's just beyond our level of capability, and we should accept that. And not accept that and give up or anything like that, but like if we're going to explore things, we have to just be more aware, and then just bring these conversations to the table, and don't just dismiss people by virtue of like what they believe in. Because even with the magnet, oh yeah, I was going to post a video yesterday, and then it shut off on me, and it was over 40 minutes too, and anyways, and then just deleted. But I was talking about that I had done some research on magnets and how it impacts the brain, and maybe I did put it on another video, but I'll just like say it briefly, that the magnetism that was being used or utilized, and again, we all get hit with magnetic pulses or whatever you want to call it, like 24/7. It's just like that's our world, that's an environment, and we have to like learn more of like what we can't see, how it impacts us. And so he was given like this guy that was part of this experiment, he was given this device, this thing for his scalp, this cap, and then with all these electrodes in it, and then his brain was measured, his waves, his alpha, beta, theta, and delta, and someone that has like a neurological background and has education in this, and but also like life experience and have done QEEGs. I've measured my own brain. I've shared that information with people, and I've shared how there's different variants, and there's absolute versus relative like comparisons that people make based on how our waves are firing and where they're firing, and it does impact us in certain ways. So it does impact our mood. It does impact our behavior, and so we need to consider what we can do to safely kind of utilize this, because it's already out there. The information's already out there. Magnets are already out there. They have been out there for way longer than us. And so like let's consider that, like, talking to other people from other organizations and not being so occult, like so hidden and so secretive, because you think that the information being shared would just do bad, when in fact, if we look at previous ancient structures and designs and stuff like that, one would be led to believe that these are possible ways of being utilized in a much more beneficial way for us. And there's a lot I can't say on these videos because, again, people do go missing. And it is what it is. But also, it's just, I would be interested in having these conversations with people that could possibly impact change. And I do email people. I was trolling NASA, their live feeds on YouTube, like for the moon. Like they were showing the moon, like the zoomed in version, I guess, like where you see the ground and stuff like that, and the outward one where you see the globe. And so I was asking questions like, why does the moon look like a reflection of the Earth, like an X-ray projection? And when I look at it, it looks like flat. Like, and why when I see like the close-ups of the terrain, it looks like northern Canada? Why this? And like, again, I'm trolling, but like, why is it always concave and fish length that are used? Like in the windows or whatever of the spacecrafts and the shuttles and the space stations and all of our cameras and all of our scopes and all of our lens, even our glasses. Why? And maybe if you don't know, then just possibly like just consider that, again, like these are clearly things that cause these optical illusions that make things appear to be a globe, right? I hope that people know that when it's said out loud, like the obvious. Like even me yesterday, I was telling Jen, my friend, sorry, I shouldn't even say names out here, but amazing hairdresser, one of the best, was actually voted on Faces of Ottawa and stuff like that too. And anyway, I was saying that I love my curls, and I've always loved like the natural curls when they dry. I'm like, but when every time I dry my hair, they always flatten out. And if I especially if I use a brush, they dry right out. And she's like, don't you just like brush your hair in the shower like when you have your conditioner in? And I was like, what? That is so smart. Like, you're such a freaking genius. And I'm like, why have I never thought of that before? But it's because like I lived in like a cabin or whatever you want to call it in the woods like for many years of my life, and so like, yeah, we didn't have like running water and electricity for a lot of that, and then we ended up getting a generator for power and stuff, and like I was washing my hair in the rain like most of my life, and that was fun stuff. And then I was in the army for 15 years, and yeah, and so it was just like quick, like wash your hair every couple weeks if you could, if you were in the field or up deployed. And yeah, I wasn't like anyway, that. And so there's a lot of things that I'm not aware of, that even like that, like even like more feminine stuff that I would love to know and I like to learn. That's why I watched like all those RuPaul videos and seasons, is because like that all, like I learned, I took notes. I honestly did. And so whatever people want to say about different groups, like don't just dismiss groups because like you don't agree with what they're doing, because like you think that you know better. If you're more open-minded, you'll see that like you're missing a lot of beautiful people in the world. I promise you that. I've talked a lot about obesity too, and I don't know when this video is going to shut up. I hope it doesn't at all. But I also I talk more, I guess, like on my social media about being underweight, especially when I'm competing. I always said it on my stories that like this is unhealthy weight. Just to be clear, like I look emaciated, like I would get too lean, right? And like for a woman that's under like 14% body fat is very lean, and this is where it's not healthy either. There's like a lot of immune issues with that too. You're definitely deficient in a lot of micronutrients. Like your organs are not properly protected. It can cause like fertility issues, like you can lose your period even, which I luckily like that was able to be managed. But that's the things, that was key things I was looking at too. Like if I skipped a period, then I knew that like I was overdoing it. And but even that, like we like again, and so I don't again, we don't I don't I talk about balance a lot, but I talk about like the more balance. Like if you're gonna be one extreme, then just possibly hopefully there's people in your corner that can like not have you like led down so completely this path. Let you do what you want and explore what you want, even if it's hard and difficult and possibly, like dangerous. But yeah, because we all have our own journeys in life. And again, I've been a war, and I've skydived, and I've rock climbed, and I've done so many crazy things in my life that that I've survived, which is amazing. And so like, who am I to like tell other people like what they're doing is dangerous? Like that's not my place at all. And that's usually when people explore their limits or go beyond their limits. That's when like innovations and explorations are made. And I was rambling on, but yeah. So Dr. Jordan Peterson, he gets hit a lot with like people that like try to distract him, and he's really good at not allowing it to. But if we had more compliant conversations, more respectful conversations amongst everyone, then it just allows for like a safer environment. It's more conducive to like learning. Even when I was an instructor for phase 3 infantry, phase 4 infantry, I tried to make it like less stressful, like not like punish the guys and stuff like that. I would there was reasons for like certain suffering that was induced, and I ran them to the ground for rucksack marches and runs and stuff like that too. But again, just to challenge people to be fitter and stronger. But like purposeful, challenging, suffering things just makes people stronger as well. And yeah, so like being underweight as well is not the answer to any solutions. I don't talk about it as much more lately, just because like the more concerning pandemic is now with obesity, because it surpassed people that are malnourished years ago, and so we have more of a problem of obesity globally than we do, or globally or worldly than we do internationally than we do with malnourishment. And that's not to say that's not equally important. It absolutely is. But if we can like remove our distractions and stop being so focused on things that don't matter, we can actually affect change in places that do matter. And I used to donate to a lot of charities, and I realized that at the higher level, this was enabling things that are criminal and things that I don't agree with. And so a lot of charities that I used to donate to, I've unfortunately stopped because of that, and I let them know why, and they think I'm crazy, and they don't believe me probably, but it is what it is. But if more people took a stand and didn't support or enable institutions without at least addressing like the bad apples, because again, like especially if it's a good idea or it's a good organization for what it should be for, or what we assume it's for. Where was I going with that? Could just go off all these random tangents. Oh yeah, and so like talking about military too, just because I am a veteran. We traveled a lot of places, did a lot of training in a lot of areas, Gagetown, Suffield. I won't say all of them. I should stop talking about that. But and we would dig trenches and like blow things up and like clear areas. But like I was thinking that like, what if because there's so many areas that are not explored or not accessible to people that want to explore or venture out and do archaeological digs and in anthropology stuff, we could have like different branches within like our military if we wanted to like reform it a little bit, like and then just have one where there's more of a like when we are in these large training environments, like where if we do find certain structures like in the ground or above the ground or whatever, to have people like these teams within that like do the assessments and the reports and the research and the monitoring and the tracking, and then working more with these other organizations, and then allowing but hiring also people like experts from again the territories and regions that they're within, and then hiring people like me that do have like certain degrees of expertise. I do have skill fade obviously now in this time of my life, but I still tend to like to go out, and I ask people to go out and do these patrolling weekends and stuff like that, where we just go out and do like navigating with a group, and we do night navigation and day navigation, and we all have different like legs of a journey we won't do within this area. And then just make sure that we're still, you know, good with that stuff. And yeah, so it's all interesting stuff. But and so I have like the navigation experience more than most, and you know, in woods and suburban areas, and like convoy stuff, like, so all interesting. And then again, hiking, and again, I keep on saying that, hiking and backpacking. So I'm offering that if there's any way that we can get people within our own country to be more interested in like all the ancient ruins and artifacts and landmarks and areas that we have just literally within our own country that are lost. It's lost to us or not accessible to us. It would just make things a lot more interesting for everyone, and not just completely dismiss things because like, oh, we've already figured it out. But no, we didn't. We so did not. And another thing with Jordan Peterson, I know this is not a sponsorship for him, by the way. Like, he doesn't even know me or know I exist. But I just really like the message that he sends to people, and he's so brave for doing it. And so I like to promote and advertise that stuff because it's all good. He was talking about Amarita mushrooms, the red and white ones, and how he has like in consumed mushrooms. And that to me was amazing to hear him say that, because there's a lot of misconceptions about psilocybin as well, and it also has very ancient roots and definitely spiritual ties, connections as well. And I've also just in the last few years also experimented with psilocybin as well, micro doses, and tried I am not as brave to do what he did, which was 7 grams. That's so much to me. Oh my God. But I'm willing to explore it because I've had like no adverse or ill effects or anything like that. And if anyone was interested in my like what I've discovered or what I kind of experienced through these journeys or whatever you want to call it, I would be so interested in discussing it as well, because the more we know and the more we explore even our own bodies and stuff like that, the more we're better able to like show up, I guess, for people and be more open-minded to learn even more and experiencing more of what life has to offer. And on that note, I will leave it at that, and I hope that everyone has a great day.